Hi, I'm Nick with Equipoise, and I'm blowing it up with Capital Chaos TV.
This is Tom Sunger with Capital Chaos TV. We're here with Nick Padovani from Equipoise. They just got done with their first show for this quick 3-day weekend tour, the world tour, they're calling it. And afterwards, they're going to Mexico. But so you're from Pennsylvania, right? So you got here like this past week. Like, how's the past week been?
It's been really good. I just got done going to NAMM with a couple of my bandmates and some other friends. So that was a good time. It was very exhausting. I actually did some interviews there, but it was basically 4 days of just checking out pretty much every company and music that's relevant, trying to get some endorsements, all that good stuff. And then we hung around in Sacramento at Eloy and Victor's house for a few days. And then, here we are now, playing a very, what I'd say, successful first show. So it was a good time.
Was there a certain booth at NAMM that really stood out to you? Or
the Kiesel booth, I'm always happy with.
Okay. So you guys going to Mexico next week? Have you ever been there personally?
No, I haven't actually. I'm very excited to go for the first time, and anxious, but I'm excited mostly.
Have you gotten messages over the years from fans there in Mexico, or have you been recently hearing from more of them about the show?
Never really messages, but just kind of the general engagement on their pages. I've seen a lot of people from Mexico, so also from South America, we always get to come to Brazil. Every band has to get that. But, it seems we have a lot of hype down there, so it's definitely exciting.
So, I was telling you guys killed it on the last tour you were on with the Beyond Creation and all of them. Was there a certain city that really stood out to you last tour?
Actually, the one you were in, Oakland, was very standout. Florida was a very big one. That was one of our craziest shows. And Montreal. Montreal was my favorite show by far. It was just there was probably 500-600 people there, and even though we didn't have vocals, people were just moshing like crazy, and they were just having a good time. So
I've always curious, certain songs for Equipoise. There's so many layers and stuff like that, and not all your members are in the same state, right? Like some are in Canada, some are in California, and so on. What's the recording process like is it easier over Skype, or are you guys calling each other?
Honestly, we just all do our own thing. So I wrote all the music for our first album pretty much. I programmed rough drum outlines, but Chasen did his own thing. Hugo for the most part followed his bass lines, but he switched them a little bit, and then me and Sanjay just did all the guitar rhythms, as they were. Nothing got changed really there. And then just solos were me, Sanjay, and Phil did our own thing. Jimmy also kind of did a little bit of his own stuff, but he was kind of short on time, so he didn't get to really explore it as we had hoped. But on the next album, we're going to definitely give him more of a focused part, because he has a really good 90s progressive death metal background. He had a really good band called Skullmancer in the 90s. It sounds almost like Atheist kind of, but with a lot of keyboards. I don't know, it's really good though. So I definitely am excited to write with him.
What would you say, is there any particular bands that first got you into tech death, and can you remember when you first really got into it type of thing? Or?
Yeah, so probably one of the first tech death songs I heard was Anti-Cosmic Overload. I was at my friend Bobby's house, and he's like, oh, here, check this shit out. And I was just getting into death metal at the time, but I heard it, and I was like, wow, this is really sick. And then I got to see them, I think maybe half a year later with Black Dahlia and Augury, actually, who are our label mates, which is really cool. I got to see them, and I was just blown away. They all came out in long sleeve shirts, and they had fans blowing in their face, and their hair was moving, and it was just a very majestic experience, And it was it just always kind of caught my eye. Now I kind of got away from tech death for a little bit, but then I got back into it, and then bands like Inferi really pulled me back in. So,
oh yeah,
I'm going strong.
Cosmos Genesis Incarnated, when that first came out, that was when I first heard those solos, I was like, wow, I heard Necrophagus around that time, but
Necrophagus 2 was one of my earlier ones, but I had a real big phase of just getting into 90s progressive death metal, tech death bands, if you will, like Cynic and Atheist. So that was a big thing for me, and I kind of rejected the modern scene. I was like, I don't want to listen to this modern crap. I became one of those old school death metal elitists. I'd only listen to Finnish death metal and 90s progressive death metal and all that shit.
The roots.
Thrash metal. I was like, I don't like that modern crap. And then Inferi came out with the Path of Apotheosis, and I was like, who the fuck am I kidding? This is really good. I love this. And then I just got back into it. So I'm glad I did.
I was blown away when that album came out too, for sure. So being on the road for how long, is there any like books or TV shows or movies you've been watching or going to be watching?
I read all The Sopranos before I left. So I got into that recently. And I'm on the 4th season, there's 6. So I'm like trying to finish the next 3 seasons before Mexico's done.
I heard it's hella good.
It's a really good show, but just between the 4th and 5th season, there's like 24 hours left. So there's probably like some 30-something hours left that I have to somehow finish. So we'll see.
To me, like I feel like the last 4 years and the tech death scene, like there's more bands actually going live and stuff. Like I was always kind of curious, like what do you think? Do you think it's like record labels like kind of like helping out bands more in a sense, or is it just like the internet kind of sharing like group pages like that, the Brutal Technical Progressive Facebook page?
It's a really big part for our scene because it's just, I mean, there's 35,000 members almost now. I know I've made a multitude of friends and fans through that page, so it definitely had a significant impact on the whole scene for sure. I don't know. It's crazy to me. I don't know what we would have done if there wasn't such a thing as social media, where people could just get out there and just see bands without having to do anything. Like that to me is the future. Is you promote yourself via social media, and it's like free almost, man. If your music's good and like people like what you're doing, you just gotta get it out there and promote it the proper way, and the fans will come.
So I'm curious, like you got some cool like flamenco instrumental stuff on Demiurgus. What kind of like non-metal music are you inspired by?
I love jazz fusion a lot. I like Chick Corea.
Hell yeah.
My absolute favorites. Al Demiola. I like Tribal Tech. I don't know. I'm not going to name drop it much, but I really like jazz fusion. And unfortunately, it wasn't a huge influence of mine when I wrote Demiurgus. I was just getting into jazz fusion at the time. So what I'm really excited about is my second album, because that's where I'm like really starting to incorporate a lot more jazz fusion elements. And namely the keys I use, the key signatures, the drumming's going to shift more towards kind of like cymbal work and grooves, and bass work will be a little more subdued, kind of to match more of the jazz fusion Gary Willis style of playing. And then gonna use more like that, probably like Rhodes keyboards, just like 80s sounding. I don't know, we're gonna do a lot with it. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever get like kind of overwhelmed with tech death sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very, very particular about the tech death I listen to these days. Like, it's kind of crappy, but I almost will only listen to a new band if like their album art's really good. There's so many albums, I can use the mentality that like I can check out every single band, but I just don't have time. I barely have time to listen to anything anymore. I'm working on like always improving my music because I'm in 4 different bands. So if the album is sick, that will pull me in initially, and then if it's something different, that's what really catches me. Now, coincidentally, the Artisan era is just such a substantial load of talent. I've never not liked a band on that label, so
yeah,
they're doing something right.
It reminds me of just early 2007, 2008 Unique Records, and just a resurgence of it all. I'm stoked on.
Malcolm and Mike are doing something really special, I think. It's crazy.
So wait, yeah, you said 4 other projects. Are you doing like a black metal project too right now, right?
That's something I'm like, that's going to be a very big focus of mine right now. So me and Philippe from Beyond Creation are actually starting that. After we got done with the tour, we got along really well when we were on tour, so we talked about the idea of doing a black metal project. And I thought like he was just joking about it, but he's pretty serious, so we're getting all lined up, and we have 3 other people lined up so far, all from really sick bands, both from the black metal and tech death scene. So I think a lot of people will be happy when we kind of reveal that. But
sick.
I had a goal for myself to finish writing for it before Christmas, or rather the New Year, but that didn't happen, unfortunately. But I have about, 16 minutes of material written up so far, so I'm hoping to get something recorded by the end of the year. Start putting it out, and maybe we can make it on the Artisan era. We'll see.
Fuck yeah, I can only imagine what it sounds like. It's going to be pretty unique with Philip on it too.
Cool, man. It's fun. It's definitely exploring stuff I'm not used to really doing, so I don't really write black metal ever. It's nice to change it up. So.
Should definitely sound interesting. And then just last question, what's in store for Equipoise in the next year or so? Are you guys going to be focusing on live strictly or writing later on?
We have some tours we're going to try and plan out here. I mean, we really want to get to Europe But I don't know, depending on how expensive it is, we might not do it, but we'll see what happens. We're just trying to make sure we get on a tour that we know is going to be financially logical, you know? We don't want to get on a tour where we're not going to make any money, because then it's going to be hard for us to tour anymore. So outside of that, we're trying to get our album all finished maybe this year and put it out 2021. That's cool. Sanjay actually wrote a lot of songs already, so we're going to start using those, and then I just have to write maybe like 5 more, and then we have an album. Everyone's going to get vocals, and it's all good.
Fuck yeah. Can't wait to hear it. Last thing, just anything you want to say to the fans out there or just in general?
I fucking love my fans. I love everybody that listens to us. It's sick. I'm glad they're all my friends too, usually. I know so many people that listen to us, so it's nice. It's fucking sick scene, right?
Well, yeah, if you guys haven't heard it yet, check out Demiurgus. And yeah, this is Tom Sumner at Capital Chaos TV. We'll catch you guys next time.